Hello, and welcome to my innovation and strategy summative for the Metronome. About the client, the Metronome is a live entertainment venue. They opened in 2018. They host lots of things and they do seated performances. The Metronome is currently home to the BBC introducing events in the East Midlands as well as the Just Tonic Comedy Club. They do very versatile events with live music, esports, poetry, burlesque, and more going on. The brief stated a video walkthrough tour of the venue from entrance to auditorium, getting tickets checked, buying a drink from the bar, etc. Image and video content covering any events. Image and video content of the tech team setting up for an event. Looking at the Metronom's Instagram account, I saw a big variety of posts, including lots of photos and reels of live events, post advertising upcoming events that use the publicity supplied by the act, and some about the facility itself. There isn't a particularly cohesive look, but that's because the venue staged a lot of different types of events. I noticed Rock City and the Hope and Anchor have a similar look. The Metronome holds a lot of different types of events, ranging from conferences, esports, poetry events, and live music gigs. So the target audience is quite a wide range, lots of middle-aged, young and old people with a good balance between men and women. But a common theme is people who enjoy attending live events. I've linked a study that found that people who like going to live music events, including having a consistently good atmosphere, places to make new friends, allowing for proximity to artists, having good sound, having good sightlines. I think the Metronome needs to show off all of these features in the venue. I originally planned to create a video walkthrough tour of the venue from entrance to auditorium, images and videos of artists at events, and image and video content of the tech team setting up for an event. The client was concerned about the health and safety aspects of filming and photographing the tech team as they set up the venue, and there were privacy concerns, so I changed my plan to taking still photos of the venue in a behind-the-scenes video. I checked with some of my course mates which days they were attending the Metronome, so we could get the most coverage of the events, and we could meet up and collaborate and share ideas. I worked with Tim in the year below at the BBC Introducing event to get footage from multiple angles, and we shared thoughts about our equipment and the lenses we used and so on. I worked with some of the confetti team to arrange to borrow the equipment that I needed, which I'll talk about later, and I presented my ideas to Hannah from the Metronome and adapted my plans from her feedback. And I spoke to various members of staff at the Metronome to gain access to the areas of the building I needed to get to. The Metronome's current branding is their name, written in lowercase font in white on a black background. On the website next to the name are two rows of small circles in orange/red, blending to pink. The Instagram page has a black and white logo, which I feel has less impact than the coloured website logo. Any text or branding that I add to the asset that I create will follow Metronome's existing style. Asset 1 is a video walkthrough tour of the venue from entrance to auditorium. I think it fits the brief because it highlights the accessibility and comfort of the Metronome. It includes shots of the layout and facilities, including the bathroom, seating areas, bars, and coat checks. It shows people it's a comfortable and organised space and emphasises the amenable surface and amenities that can help future guests at ease. The pre-production planning and resources needed. I got permission from the venue. I went to the Metronome when there wasn't an event on, so that the venue was empty aside from security and staff. I took my NTU student ID in order to be allowed in, and I borrowed a DJI Osmo 3 from Confetti in order to get the video footage I needed, and I filmed it in landscape. I edited the footage in CapCut, and I added the Metronome's logo to the footage, and I added interesting background music to get the attention of the viewers. My asset 2 is images and video content of artists live at events. Shooting the artists live on the stage captures more energy that they put into their performance. I used some burst shots to capture more in the moment, and I picked the best frames later. I'll produce a reel created from still images. This fits the brief because the assets will show the exciting performances and the atmosphere at events that the venue holds. Pre-production planning and resources needed. I asked Jamal to put me on the list to attend the venue and to make sure I have my student ID with me. I made sure. I was at the Metronome at the recommended time on the website, and I used my Fujifilm X100VI in order to get the photos I needed for this asset. The editing process, I selected the photos that had the best atmosphere and lighting and showed the venue off and the artists off the best. I made these into a reel, and I looked at Instagram's data, and reels reach more people than carousels and single photo posts. And I added the Metronome's logo to the start to fit their branding and social media posts, and I added a backing track. Asset 3 was taking still photos of the venue in a behind-the-scenes style footage and creating a video of it. This fits the brief because sharing aspects of the venue that may not normally be seen or noticed by the public shows a more artistic and unique aspect. With permission from the venue, I went to the Metronome at a time when there wasn't really an event on, so the venue was empty aside for security and staff again. And I took my NTU student ID to make sure that I was allowed into the stage of bar areas, and I used my Fujifilm X106 again to capture the photos I needed, and I used a black and white film simulation. The editing process was I added the Metronome's logo to the top for the entire video, and I used the full color logo to stand out against the black and white photos I took. And I created the backing audio from me playing the guitar in order to fit the artistry and live music feeling of the metronome, and I edited this on CapCut again. My content calendar. The metronome keeps control of what's posted on their social media and when, so I haven't put an actual calendar of dates together, but I have posted the assets on my personal photography Instagram page. Looking at the key metrics for my posts, I used the captions. The caption used was Metronome Facilities Walkthrough. The hashtags used were hashtag metronome not, and hashtag music. The post reached 51 unique users and was liked by 20, which is an engagement rate of 39.2%, which I was very happy with. Asset 2, I used the same caption and hashtags because Asset 1 did so well, and this reached 73 users and was liked by 22, which is an engagement rate of 30%, which I was again happy with. And for Asset 3, I used the same caption and hashtags, and this reached 40 people and was liked by 21, which is an engagement rate of 52%, which I was really happy with. For looking at ethics, diversity, and sustainability, I approached creating my digital content with ethics, diversity, and sustainability in mind in the following ways. For ethics, I made sure to follow the brief that the Metronome provided, and for any content photography, I made sure it was focused on the artist and venue or crowd as a whole and didn't single out any individual people. And for my video walkthrough and still photos of the venue, I made sure I didn't include any people who were just walking by and minding their business. For diversity, I split up my photography on multiple members of different bands, ensuring I got a diverse collection of content captured, and I made sure to be very polite and inclusive when creating my content in order to not block anyone's views or treat anyone differently. Looking at sustainability, my content was created to fit the Metronome social channels, ensuring a timeless look and that it doesn't die or live by trends. Qualitative feedback. Because the Metronome keeps control of what is posted and when, I've not been able to look at Instagram analytics from their account. Instead, I've shown each asset to members of the public and asked them to create a short set of questions. This content has been created for a live music venue in Nottingham to use an Instagram account. What does this content suggest to you about the venue and their events? Is there anything that you'd expect to see in this content that's missing? Based on this content, what do you like and dislike about this venue and their events? And does this content make you feel more or less likely to go to an event at this venue? And do you have any other comments? The results were this venue looks modern, airy, and spacious. It's easy to see where in the street the metronome is. These images will make me want to go to the metronome events at the metronome. I can't see anything that I don't like here. The bands look great, and it's good to see how close you can stand to watch them. The feedback from the Google Forms questionnaire I did was video was clear, however the start walk was too long and I lost interest. The wide room lens makes it look amazing. I enjoyed the POV walkthrough of the facilities. The realistic point of view allowed me to enjoy it easily. Some of the images were blurred, but the distorted ones were really good. I like colour scheme of the lighting. The pictures were good, however the black and white I would say wasn't a good idea. I very much like the black and white scheme with the original soundtrack. IP and legal. For the metronome brief, I looked at the public performance license that they have, which allows them to organise live gigs, and it allows them to play music that is copyrighted to other performers as well as their own pieces. The band's playing will also sign a contract that allows the metronome to record, reproduce, and photograph them, and to share these assets on social media. I'm working as I'm working in the brief set by Metronome. I'm able to record, photograph, and create digital assets of the performers, and these will then become the IP of myself and the Metronome. If I wanted to protect my work, I would copyright it under a copyright notice. I will also consider watermarking any images and using the metadata to track them. Reflection. On the whole, I think this work went well. I listened carefully to the client's brief and was able to adapt my response to it based on their feedback. I was able to organise myself to attend an event and the venue with the right equipment at the right time. I'm happy with the quality of the assets I created, and I'm particularly proud of the behind-the-scenes reel where I created the backing track myself. I think I could improve by attending more events at the venue and getting a more diverse set of footage to work with, and maybe show some of the other types of events that are held at the Metronome, like comedy nights. This could attract a different audience. I think I could also improve by working more closely with the Metronome to get them to post the assets that I created on their own social media. I missed this opportunity and so posted them on my own personal page instead. I could maybe use hashtags more efficiently. Thank you for listening to my summative. I hope you like it.